I'm Mary Obana. Welcome to Shine. I'm all about friendly, soul-nourishing, spiritually inspired conversations that expand perspectives and offer practical guidance so you can live joyfully and shine brightly. I believe everyone has something special within them, a unique gift, a light you are to find and share with the world. You are meant to shine. I believe you have a deep knowing, guidance that is ready to serve you. It is always available if you listen. I believe you are meant to live with complete joy and peace, nothing less. It's just awaiting your allowing. Ready to get to it? Here we go. Hello there. Welcome to Shine. Many years ago, I met an extraordinary person. You know, one of those people that just exudes joy, life, vibrancy. Someone that makes you laugh so hard your stomach hurts. I'd see her across the quad and we'd look at each other from afar and just giggle. This person wasn't only blessed with a natural and an incredible sense of humor. She was genuine, caring, loving, and kind. She had a generous spirit, a big heart, a person you just knew you were lucky to know. Do you know someone like that? My beautiful friend is Mary Dungan Caprio. After we graduated from college, we'd get back in touch now and again. But every reunion, we'd find one another and get caught up and laugh. Last year when I wrote my book, Shine, Mary reached out to me. She was so happy for me, so supportive. She shared how interesting she thought it was that something so important, our spiritual path, is so rarely discussed. We had a beautiful conversation about that and her own personal journey. Mary shared the impact Shine had on her and how she learned that we all have a light within us, that thing that makes us unique, special. And it helped her to discover her own light, recognizing the specialness within herself for the first time. She talked about how she realized she spent a lot of her life and devoted a lot of her energy searching for gratification in the feedback of others, meeting all the perceived expectations. But with her cancer diagnosis and this newfound understanding and appreciation of herself, everything changed. There just wasn't any room to do anything but what felt right to her. There was only time to celebrate her gifts and to share them with others because that's what brought her the greatest joy and brought joy to others too. I was just launching this podcast at the time and working on the early episodes. I thought Mary's story was one that we could all relate to. So I asked if I could interview her. With her innate giving nature, she said she'd love to, particularly if her story could help others. And so I did. It was my first guest episode back in May of 2020, episode 3, titled Recognizing the Specialness Within You, an interview with Mary Caprio. I loved how she opened up, so honest, so herself. Mary lost her battle with cancer just 2 weeks ago. And ever since, I haven't been able to stop thinking of her. I re-listened to my interview with her more than once. Hearing her voice was comforting to me. But as I listened to her words, it reminded me she had an important message that was valuable then, and perhaps even more so now. To honor my friend, I thought I'd replay my conversation with her. Her love and wisdom continue to give. Her generous spirit continues on. Here's my friend, Mary Caprio. Hi, Mare. How are ya?
Hi, Mary. It's lovely to be talking with you.
Oh, thank you.
It's been great to reconnect with you over this book.
Well, I have to say, one of the really nice things about this book is connecting with folks like you who I haven't been in contact with for quite a bit. So, a great excuse to catch up. So, Mary, tell us a bit about yourself so the listeners know who you are.
Mike and I live in Northern California, over in the East Bay, where we've raised our three lovely children. We've got Emily, who's in grad school, Tom, who is in college, and Peter, who is a junior in high school. And we have had some wonderful, not close quarters the last couple months, as we all have. I was born and raised in California, had the absolute pleasure and honor of going to Stanford, which is where I met you. One of the many highlights, top highlights, are the friends that I made. We've been out in the Bay Area 26 years, I guess, after graduation, and we're just rolling along in life.
Wow.
So this downtime gave me a chance to just power through a wonderful book, Shine.
Thanks, Mare. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about what your life was like going into reading this book? I mean, did you have a lot of questions? Were you in a contemplative mode? Were you just happy-go-lucky? I mean, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I was sort of a hybrid, Mary, of, happy-go-lucky and, c'est la vie, but always with an underlying pull of what should I be doing? What can I be doing? What am I good at? What can I produce? And it was always from that angle, that quantitative angle, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I should be working. I should be earning a salary, but never really feeling that in my heart. I think, which is why I, spent a short amount of time in advertising and then got out, and it was the happiest day of my life when I got out of a career. And I think you and I have talked before about when I was at Stanford, I had this sort of secret that all I really wanted to be was a mom. I wanted to raise little people and be with people. And that was just something I wasn't comfortable talking about.
Yeah.
On a campus full of people going on to do just incredible things. But
well, let's talk a second about that, because I think it's true that we have this internal guidance system that we ignore because we're listening more to the expectations that others have for us rather than the things that really are going to make us happiest.
I spent my life thinking that I was happiest when I was pleasing other people. And that, coupled with perfectionist tendencies, you lose sight of what feels good to you inside. And so I was always responsive to external commentary.
Yeah.
And in so many ways, it worked successful for me.
Do you mean positive feedback? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Oh gosh, great job on this, that, and the other. And so you get this feedback from people and you realize, wow, I can't let them down. I've got to be great all the time. And so it had so many wonderful payoffs, but it also took me further and further away, I think, from what really felt good inside. So that what I was doing, I needed a reaction from somebody to know whether it was good or good enough.
So when did that change for you? When did you actually acknowledge or recognize that that's what was happening?
When it really hit home for me was when my kids, when our oldest, Emily, was old enough to finally tell me, Mom, I don't like going to birthday parties. I don't like when I realized my kids could think for themselves
Yeah.
and I no longer could justify doing what I thought was the right thing with them and for them. So enrolling them in everything and dragging them here and dragging them there because that's what everybody I was
Yeah.
invited. So the expectation was to be there. And I realized, wow, I have spent a lifetime fulfilling other people's expectations when really they could care less. But it was so important to me. It was one less goodie bag at the birthday party if I told them she wouldn't be there. But I think it was as the kids got, they just taught me that I need to do what's right, not only for them, but for me. And so it was a long life, Mary, of doing, searching for um, gratification in other people's feedback
Yeah.
and their expectations.
Yeah. That's so
And then
good.
I think it really probably cemented itself in I would really like to live this way when I was diagnosed with cancer.
Mhm.
And once the ship kind of righted itself and we got on a program and things are going well and I feel healthy, there's absolutely no room to do anything except what feels right.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those life wake-up calls, I guess, isn't it?
But it is, that was one of many wake up calls I got. And then really, and I have to say this, what put it into words for me was reading your book. And it helped me to see that my shine is felt by those around me and that it is such a um, valuable I don't even know the word valuable commodity that I supplied to my friends. And I didn't really know it
Yeah.
until as I read your book and I think about the comments that friends will make to me and I realize, wow, there it is. That is what I've wanted my whole life is to just connect with those I love um, in a way that doesn't require expectation.
Well, I can tell you, without question, you're one of my favorite people from college because you always, whenever I was around you, I knew it was going to just be joyful. You've got this, you exude this great joy within you. And, I think the fact is that the thing about this light is that it is something that's so much an intrinsic part of who we are that it's very easy to take for granted. And it's easy to discount the things within us that come naturally, when in fact that very thing is the thing that makes us so incredibly special.
Exactly. And it takes interacting with those you love to really bring it out and to feel it. You can tell yourself you have it, but I think for me, I really need to feel it with other people. And, just thinking back to seeing you this fall.
Yeah.
I mean, we just giggle. And that's all we did every time I would see you on campus.
Yeah.
Just giggle. And it's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah.
And there, you do, I think with age, you end up cleaning house
Yeah.
with friends. And that, in my previous life, that would never happen. I would be so afraid what someone would think. And, if I didn't respond to an outreach. And again, there just is not enough time in life to not follow your heart and follow what feels right to you. So many words from your spirit guide pointed that out to me.
So then how would you articulate your light? How does that come through for you?
Making the people around me feel comfortable, feel loved, feel happy, feel joy, see the humor in just the most atrocious situations that we often find ourselves in. And I've often, people have said with this cancer journey, Mary, I have been so positive through it all. And I don't know how it's going to end.
Yeah.
I mean, none of us really do, but I keep saying I have been blessed with this positivity that I haven't had to work at.
Yeah.
And I think that is also what happens when I interact with people.
Yeah.
Is that it's effortless to make them feel comfortable, and I don't mean gratifying just them.
Right.
It's gratifying to me to connect with people on the level that I'm comfortable with laughter and kind of deep questions and
connectedness,
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's what Shine made me kind of lay out, like, what is it? Because it is you hit the nail on the head for me that it's bringing the light to other people and letting their light shine. And I feel like I get to do that and see that when I'm with people.
Well, that's the beautiful thing, and really the purpose of having a light at all. Having a light and just keeping it to ourselves is not the point. It is really all about connectedness, and it's about shining our light, which means sharing that light with others. And, the other thing about it too is that, when we are in that mode of shining our light, it is something that is who we are. And so it is effortless because it takes a whole lot more energy to be someone else. And it comes a lot easier just to be our true selves.
It's exhausting and it makes things you don't want to go, you don't want to be, you don't, who am I going to, what is this group of people? How am I going to be with this group of people? And I think I spend a lot of time, tamping down my light in order to fit in with a group that felt different to me, that I had to work at. I have plenty of people in my life who shine differently, but I feel blessed that they seek out my light.
We like being around people when they're shining. That's just the way it works. When we are sharing our light and when we are shining, it makes others feel good and it makes us feel good. And that's really kind of the whole point of all of this in finding our light, because it is really about getting back to who we really are.
And the hope is that they can feel however their light shines. I just hope that people can feel that sense of kind of gratitude and fulfillment that you get and I get from shining our light on people.
Right.
Because and that's what I just never was able to kind of evaluate those traits in me. They, like you said, they've been with me forever. They've been with me so long, I don't remember them. I don't remember being that way as a child. But, the power of social media, you hear from people that were in your life years and years and years ago, and they tell you that, oh my gosh, you were so funny in, third grade. Well, I don't remember.
I don't doubt that for a New York minute. Let me just tell you that.
Well, likewise. but it's funny that it's just always been there, And it's taken, decades for me to appreciate it, which is why I wish you had written that book a lot sooner. Darn you.
Well, you know what they say, Mare, things are divinely timed. Things happen when they're supposed to. And I don't know, I often think that if this book maybe had come to you earlier, maybe you would have put it down and maybe you wouldn't have resonated in the same way, or maybe it was something that you would put down and you kind of pick up again when the timing's right. So I don't know, I feel like things happen when they're supposed to. But I have a question for you, now that you've found your light, how has that affected things for you? In particular, I'm kind of curious how it's affected your relationship with your family.
I realize now, I think we've shared enough in the immediate family, enough things that have, rocked our boat, that there's only room to be that light. There's no, with aging parents, there's no time to hide behind, I just want, I want them to see that I am following the rules. And that has just been so liberating. Just within my interactions with my family. And, with the cancer treatments, there are days where, it's not great. And I would always sort of suck it up. And that was empty for me.
Right.
When I would
You
talk
mean
to
not being
them.
able to be feeling like you had to be a certain way? Is that what you mean for
them?
Yeah.
So, I talked to mom and dad. No, I'm feeling fine. And I'd hang up the phone and think, oh my gosh, I spent a lot of my life
making them feel better.
Doing that. Yes. And making those around me. And I realized, it does nobody good.
Right.
And I think if you can recognize when you're shining, if it's so important to recognize how that feels. And that is what we all should strive for.
Well, yeah, because when you have ignited that special light within you, there is an immense peace and joy that fills every ounce of your existence. Not only are you feeling this joy, but the people that you're sharing this light with feels that joy too, right? And it feels good because you're doing what you're here to do, or more accurately, you're being who you are truly meant to be. And with that comes great peace and fulfillment, and all that stuff that we all yearn for is kind of resident within this truth of who we are. And so this path to finding our light is really just a return to where we're supposed to be all along. And I think that, our lives are such where it's sometimes you have to reach a certain point in your life, I think, or a certain kind of quietness where you can actually think about yourself, because we don't think a lot about ourselves. We're so crazy involved with all these other things that are going on with our life and keeping up with this and that we don't pause to actually look inside us and do some introspection. And that's kind of what this is really all about in many ways, right? Finding your light is really focusing within yourself to find that which is super special about yourself. And that's awesome.
Well, and I also think too, with this, shelter in place.
Yeah.
It really, I was so excited after reading Shine to feel like I've unearthed something new, because our life can become so routine and busy with that routine that there's I miss that, the chances to learn like we did for so long in our, all the way through our early 20s.
Right.
And to be able to sit down and read this and have the time to kind of chew on it and mull it over and think for myself, just to have this quiet time to really look inward and solidify those feelings I've had forever that I thought were just feelings, when now I realize they're my light.
Yeah.
I needed this time I needed this quiet time. And it's so wonderful to have learned something so valuable. Because I don't, those opportunities don't present themselves so much to me because I'm busy. I like to be busy.
Yeah.
I think that's true for so many people, and I think the thing that is definitely true about this moment, this sheltering in place, this time to kind of stop the momentum of our lives. I think all our lives we just get caught in the routines of what we always do. And I think this is, making us be, or allowing us to be more deliberate about what we choose to do. And I think that's a healthy thing. I think that's definitely a silver lining to this whole situation we're in. And in many ways, I think it has kind of been a reset, so that when we get kind of back into kind of play mode, I feel like we've been in a big pause mode in many ways, which has enabled us to kind of look within and think about these things and take time to think about ourselves and learn about ourselves. But I also think going forward, it will be a bit of a reset, which I think is really healthy. And I think it's honestly really necessary. And I think there's a lot of great things that are going to come out of this period of time.
To be able to start with a clean slate going forward. And then with this kind of newfound acceptance of who I am and what I should be doing, and to make, for me to feel that light. Oh, it's just awesome. I think my life's going to be forever changed. I really do. When I said I wish you'd written this book earlier, it's probably best you didn't. I needed to read it now when I could stop, look, and listen. I wish that everyone could find their light. And boy, your book makes it couldn't be simpler. It's a gift to us all.
Oh, Mary, you were a gift to all of us. It's a crazy thing when it comes to finding your light. We can often overlook that which makes us so special, and yet for those who know us, it seems so obvious because we can feel that light when it shines. It feels like joy. We all have a beautiful light within us, and Mary's was especially bright. Finding your light is always a path back to who you truly are and a chance to recognize what makes you so special. We're here to find that light so we can share it with others, so we can shine and help others shine too. Mary, man, did her light shine brightly. I know she knows she helped people to understand how to love, how to laugh, how to work through hard things. Mary had a magical ability to put others at ease, to find the levity and joy and positivity and even, as she said, the most atrocious of situations. She felt the way to work through anything was through love and laughter too. Laughter was her own brand of love, I think. Her upbeat and positive nature, it's the way she put others at ease. It came so naturally to her. But everything life throws our way, tears, regret, heartache, conflict, all that pain and suffering. In the end, it all just ends up in one place, and that's back to love. Because that's the only thing that matters. It's the only thing we can take with us. The lesson is to spend less time fighting and more time loving. It's focusing more on what we have in common and less on what we do not. It's the quality of the time that we have, not the length of it. It's about the depth of the love. That's what I learned from Mary. To her beautiful family, Mike, Emily, Tom, Peter, her parents, Tom and Anne, her sisters, Kathy and Lynn, her many, many dear friends. To all those that felt her love, know that she's always with you. That love never ends. Thank you, my dear friend Mary Dungan Caprio, for all the love, for all the laughter, for shining your beautiful light and encouraging all of us to find and shine ours. I love you, Mary. Here's to you. Thank you for joining me today. As Mary said, we never know how or when things will end for us here. Let's make the most of our days, love and laugh, and shine that light of yours for you and for all of us. Until next time, take it easy.